What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I'm going to give you a good overview of what to expect next week and potentially where the price might go. And over and above that, a nice change of events coming from Lucid's marketing. So definitely a nice change in that regard. So I'll give you a good update on that. Before I get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get right to it. So starting off with the marketing aspect. As you can see, this is the Q4 earnings. I like to look at this because this is a very good snapshot in basically Lucid and what they're doing and what they're trying to really portray. And Peter does say this quite a lot, in fact, but he says that he does believe that it's the best product in the world, which of course, him being the CEO of Lucid, I wouldn't expect anything less, but he does say that just too few people are aware of it. And that's not the first time that they've said that. So in general, I think they really need to step up their marketing aspect. And because more specifically, even in Europe, like for instance, there's 4 studios. I'm not really sure exactly how many deliveries have been made out there yet, but some people have already sent me some pictures saying that they're in Sweden and so forth. But regardless, word of mouth, that whole marketing is not necessarily going to work in Europe because of lack of vehicles purely. But as you can see based on this, it does look like they did a Oscar or a new commercial that I think in general is very much targeting the Oscars time period. And based on this, it does say that this is what they typically do as well. So I think in general, that's a very good kind of movement that they're trying to do is with a lot of these articles. And oddly enough, I used to see a lot of commercials as well, even on YouTube about Lucid, but it seems to be that they have been scaling back. So it's nice to see this change of events, but I just want to quickly play this. Doesn't matter with or without sound, but again, I think this is a very good encumbering viewpoint of Lucid because in general, a lot of us know that Lucid is the best product out there. Price point, not the best per se, but of course they're kind of targeting the luxurious kind of component when it comes down to that. But in reality, a lot of people, like Peter even says, a lot of people don't necessarily know Lucid. But not only that though, it looks like Lucid has a kind of a role potentially in the Succession season. It is kind of indicated in their trailer, and Jeff Curry did actually post this as well. So I'm just going to quickly play this. It's only roughly about 3 or 4 seconds at the very beginning, right kind of here, right here. So other than that, Lucid's not really participating in this trailer, but still it goes to show that at least it's good enough, and hopefully in the future I would love to see a Lucid as the 007 car. So in general, I think they're really starting to step up their marketing per se, whether it just be through a lot more commercials or roles in TV series. So I think in general that might be a good moving part going forward, and especially might also be able to help with Europe, of course. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. But I think in general as well, them kind of partnering with Orange, I believe it was, to increase the customer experience out in Europe, I think that also will be a very good beneficial part for Lucid. But like I said, when it comes down to next week, it's going to be a wild ride, and I'm going to break it down on why. So as you can tell, I'm sure a lot of you already do know, with the whole Silicon Valley Bank. And just on a side note, Lucid does not have any money with them, so just be aware of that, because I know some people were very much wondering if Lucid lost any of their money. But there definitely is going to be a lot of rollover for Fear because and as a result of this, and potentially if the dominoes fall in a correct way, there might be more other regional banks that start to fall in a similar fashion as well. So definitely that might cause a little bit more of a ripple across the broader market. But when it comes down to stuff that we do know, there's going to be 2 data points or 3 data points coming out next week that you really need to watch for. So on Tuesday is CPI. Of course, I don't think I need to explain that to you on how important CPI is at this moment in time, because the Feds as of right now are trying to combat inflation by raising interest rates. But now you also get this kind of fear from the Silicon Valley Bank and potentially other regional banks as well. So you kind of are stuck within a very interesting place coming from the Fed standpoint, because they are going to be set to have their rate decision on the 22nd. So whatever comes out for the CPI, I think that might be a very wild ride. regardless if it is positive or negative. And then Wednesday, there is PPI and also retail sales. So a lot of big indicators for the broader economy and the overall kind of health and inflation and so forth. So in general, it's going to be one wild ride. And even going into next week, unfortunately, it's a little bit more of a negative aspect based on the technicals, which as of right now, we are below a lot of the pivotal moving averages. So in general, looking at the Fibonacci levels, technically trading between the S2 and the S1. So 704 is a very big point to watch for. And as far as stochastic, it is currently at 7. So like I said, if this economic data for the most part is very, very positive, then you might see a little bit more of a potential value rally as a result of it. And looking at momentum, number of retail investors have just been getting out for a while now, and it doesn't necessarily make that much sense to me, because the way I see Lucid as a very good long-term investment. Because of course, if you ever compare Lucid to Tesla, for instance, in the early stages, there's a hell of a lot of volatility. So unfortunately, I think when it comes down to Lucid, people seem to be very much just not getting it, because unfortunately what did happen, Lucid immediately was compared to Tesla. Everyone wanted the Tesla 2.0, whoever missed out on the whole rally with Tesla. But what did happen is there was volatility that came, so people immediately started to panic. So I think at the end of the day, if you do believe in Lucid longer term and bigger picture, such as 2025 and onwards, then people should be taking advantage of these discounted prices and not necessarily fleeing, as what the data does show. But once again, when it comes to Lucid, there's a huge amount of institutional presence that is more than happy to buy a lot of the available shares out there from retail. So of course, just keep that in mind as well. So you don't make any money by panic selling, plain and simple. But keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence at the end of the day. And what Peter even said during the beginning of the Q4 earnings, he did say that Lucid has the best technology and as of right now does have a very good competitive advantage to its competition. So in general, just put that in perspective. So potentially as a result of either the Silicon Valley or some of those data points, if it does cause Lucid to go down, take advantage of those prices. But like I said, some things to really watch for this week is around that $7 range. I don't anticipate any justification for it to be above $8.20 this week in per se. But like I said, anything could happen, right? Especially with a lot of this data coming out as well. So once again, let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. And like I said, if CPI is dramatically worse, then potentially it could break that $7 range. So like I said, that $7 range, you should very much watch closely, because if it does break that, then there's a fine line between that and a new 52-week low. But once again, let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments below. These videos are for entertainment purposes only, so take from it what you will. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. If you do like my Lucid content, want to support the channel, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. And on a side note, if you do like a lot of good Lucid content, and for instance, want to take a look at SEC filings, the latest news, articles, whatever it is, definitely take a look at Seeking Alpha. I do have a 7-day free trial for a lot of you. Link in the description below, and also I'll put it in the comments. So just pop over there, and like I said, it's a good 7-day free trial. So take advantage of that. But without further ado, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.